Covington could very well be getting the most undeserved title shot in UFC history. This weekend, he is fighting Joaquin Buckley. And the thing is, Colby Covington has been promised title opportunities in the past for doing a favor for the UFC. Meaning he comes in, he's facing Buckley. I think he took this fight on 3 weeks' notice, something like that. If he gets the win, maybe he said to Dana, hey, listen, Dana, I'd love to go up there and stop Belal. It would be a huge fight. I'm doing you guys a favor. What are you going to do for me? And Dana might say, hey, if you put on an impressive performance, you're getting a title shot, right? And here is the thing, right? We just saw Shavkat Rakhmonov beat Ian Gary, and he, of course, is the #1 contender right now. But he's also injured. It came out last week that he was fighting with, I believe, an MCL tear or something of that nature, which, from what I've heard, could require surgery, which means he's probably out for at least half of 2025, right? Belal is back in the training room, ready to fight. And Belal Muhammad said he wanted to fight somebody around kind of March, April, but either before or after Ramadan, something like that, right? So now the question is, who does he fight if Shavkat is hurt? Shavkat's the #1 contender. Shavkat's hurt. Now what? Right? Leon Edwards, he's fighting in March against somebody, hopefully Ian Gary, but I might not get my way there. So now it's like, okay, well, who are they going to match Belal Muhammad with? Well, this fight tonight is probably going to decide, tomorrow night. The fight tomorrow night is probably going to decide that, right? If Colby Covington comes in, runs through Buckley, dominates him, takes him down, wrestles him to death, right? To death. Then Dana White's probably going to be like, yeah, that was a great performance. We can certainly talk about it. Belal, are you down? And then the fact that yesterday Colby Covington was like, oh, the reason Belal's foot got hurt was because his pager went off. Alluding to the fact that the Israeli army got rid of Hezbollah or Hamas or something, implying that he was part of that group. Now that might be it. That might be enough to build it, right? Belal Muhammad's kind of responded. And here's the thing, right? Belal Muhammad has said repeatedly in the past that he wants to fight Colby Covington. He wants to kick his ass. And so Belal Muhammad might look at it and be like, you know what, you're a dick, but this fight's going to sell. I want an easy title defense. Let's go, Colby, right? And now you have Colby Covington, another at-bat for the title, which he's going to lose. Dana White privilege? I don't know, right? But this could very well take place. This could go down. And if it does, like I said, most undeserved title fight in history. Do you guys think that they give Colby Covington this title shot if he comes out on top tomorrow night? Let me know in the comments. And if you wouldn't mind, hit the like and subscribe button. Helps the YouTube algorithm, helps grow the channel. Now, of course, the other possibility, right, is that they do, Buckley wins, right? A very winnable fight for Buckley, right? We saw him with the capability to grapple a couple times. I don't think he's at Colby's level as far as the grappling wrestling goes, but we saw him with the capability to grapple. He has KO power. You know what I mean? Very explosive, and on top of which he's been active, right? I think this will be his third fight of 2024, right? Colby hasn't fought since last year. And he said he was on the trail a lot this year, campaigning for Trump. So he probably hasn't been in the gym as much, all that stuff, right? So it's like Buckley has a really good chance of winning. But if he wins, does he then raise his hand and get a crack at Belal? It's possible, right? Belal might accept that, but I think realistically, if Belal wants to defend his belt, March or April of this year, and Shavkat's not ready, I think they might start looking elsewhere, right? It's not going to be Leon. Maybe they look at Usman, right? Kamaru Usman probably, doesn't quote unquote deserve it, in a matter of speaking, but that would be a great name to add to Belal's resume. I think that's actually a super competitive fight. I think that Belal would have trouble taking Usman down and vice versa. And then I think it becomes a striking battle. And I mean, both of them are pretty good with basic boxing and things like that. That could be a really, really good fight. Belal Muhammad and Kamaru Usman. Now again, Does he deserve it? Like, his last fight was a loss on short notice to Shavkat, or not Shavkat, to Hamza, right? And he made Hamza look human. Like, a lot of people thought that not a lot of people, but what's his name? Michael Bisping thought that Usman won, right? So could you put Usman in there against Belal maybe for a title fight between now and then? Maybe, right? Buckley certainly could raise his hand, but I think Buckley he was probably gonna need one more win of somebody like JDM or Sean Brady or somebody like this to be kind of put in the title conversation. And then you have, I think the rumor is that JDM is booked, and JDM and Sean Brady, I think they got something coming up. I don't know if it's against each other. I want to say that I think that there was talks about Leon and Sean Brady, but I don't think you put Sean Brady in there with Belal because Belal already beat him, right? And in fairly, like, one of his only finishes in UFC history was Sean Brady, right? And then JDM. So those are kind of the options you have, right? Obviously, Colby wins. I think he could very realistically be put in another title fight against Belal at some point in early 2025. I think if Belal wants to fight in early 2025, Usman's going to raise his hand and say, hey, I'm down, right? And although you might say he's undeserving, he's certainly more deserving than Colby. That's what I would say. Then the other options, of course, are JDM and Sean Brady. They're not going to pick Sean Brady, so maybe the only other guy who could potentially do it is JDM. But the reality is, once again, like, he probably needs one more fight. So I think what happens right now is if Colby wins, he could very well get a title shot. If he loses, I don't think they put Buckley in there right away. I think they give a title shot to Kamaru Usman. And I think that's a great fight, and that would be another great name to add to Belal's resume, assuming he wins, right? Usman, he's not done, right? I mean, the thing is, he's been inactive for the last year, but, impressive performance against Hamza Chimaev. He made one of the best middleweights of all time look like an amateur. Hamza did, and Kamaru Usman went with him for 3 rounds on short notice. A lot of people thinking that if it had been the full 5 rounds, he would have won. So, to me, I think if you, obviously, number one, Shavkat. If that fight can happen relatively soon, you make it happen. But if he's injured and he's not going to be able to fight until, let's just say late 2025, right? Mid to late, let's just say the earliest he's available is late June, early July, and Belal wants to defend at least once before then you do, I think, if Buckley wins, you do Belal and Usman. If Covington wins, I think they'd probably make that happen. That's the way I see it. I don't know. What do you guys think? But if this happens, right, this would be the most undeserved title shot in UFC history, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for a few reasons. Like I said, number one, I think that because Covington kind of did them a favor by taking this Buckley fight, and which it could have saved the card, right? They might have reciprocated, hey, if you win in dominant fashion, impressive fashion, we put you in there with Belal, right? Shavkat's hurt, so that fight, like I said, probably doesn't happen until mid to late 2025. So in the meantime, if Covington wins in impressive fashion, maybe he gets in there, right? If Buckley wins, I don't think they give it to him right away, unfortunately. And then, Sean Brady, that's not happening. JDM, probably not. You're probably going to have, potentially Usman fight for the title, I would say. If Belal is set on defending his belt at least once before the end, early 2025, in Ramadan, before Ramadan, just after Ramadan. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.